Hey guys, today sitting with me is my buddy Justin Reinhardt. Same
Hey,
name, right?
yes, you did.
I
You got it
did.
right.
All right.
That's it, Justin Reinhardt. Yeah, it's good to be here, man.
Awesome. I was hoping that you could tell us a little bit about yourself today.
Yeah, so my name's Justin. I live in Columbus, Indiana, where you do. But came from Louisville, Kentucky, 3 years ago. So we're pretty new to the area. Got a wife and a few kids, and I grew up in Texas and was born in Arkansas, but never lived there. But we lived in such a small town that we had to drive to Arkansas when I was in Oklahoma for my mom to give birth to me. And then we moved to Oklahoma, lived in Texas, came to Louisville. So we moved around quite a bit when I was a kid.
That is
But
a lot.
yeah, and so then I've been in Louisville for a long time, met my wife, and then we came here and took a job at the Ridge. So I play music there and do some counseling and some different things like that. But yeah, man, so been here for a few years. We are digging it. We live out in the middle of nowhere right now, which has been pretty awesome. Always been a city person, so getting used to country life, so which has been
Right.
culture shock. Yeah. I went from, being at Target in 5 minutes to it takes me like 37 minutes to get to work right now. So yeah. But it's pretty sweet. So
Oh man. What was the most shocking thing about moving here?
to Columbus,
Yeah.
man, Louisville gets a bad rap. A lot of people hate on Louisville, especially people who are from Louisville hate Louisville. But Louisville's a pretty sweet city. I think it's awesome. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff. I think the thing that was hardest was finding stuff to do that we liked doing. Like here. Because when you're in Louisville, it's like, you could do weird. You can go to the zoo for an hour and not feel like you've wasted time driving there. But like living here, it's like, well, if I'm going to go to the zoo now in Louisville, like we better spend some time at the zoo. Things like that. Like, you can take those little quick trips, and there's just all sorts of stuff. Louisville's got a ton of things, and all going to shows, and going to seeing bands play, and then even when they get done at 11 o'clock, you get home in 15 minutes, you're good.
Yeah.
Here it's like, which we're centrally located, so like no, it's fine because you can go to Indy and be in a show. You can go to Cincinnati and Louisville. Yeah, So you got a lot of options around here, but no matter what, you still have to drive an hour or so home. Yeah. So I think that's the one thing. Like those are a couple things like that were like a little bit like okay, like shocking and different, but it's not bad. None of it was bad. It took a little while for us to get adjusted to it, but Columbus we're getting used to it, man. My kids are adapting, so that was a big thing for us when we first got here.
Right.
But dude, Columbus got it going on. Like people made fun of me when we first moved here. Like all my friends from back down south are like, you're moving to a small town. But in all honesty, it's still 50-something thousand people here. There's still, we got Best Buy. What's up? We got all the stuff. We got Target. There's 2 Walmarts in this town. So it's not like it's not a one-horse town or anything. There's things going on. And people here love it here. That's true, dude. And one of them is within like 2 miles of the other one. So like it's crazy. But it's funny because people here in Columbus, I think it's kind of cool. I like when people are proud of where they're from, and so there's people here that really do love this place,
right?
And they do things and they invest in this area, and so when people take pride where they're at, you're like, okay, this is cool because you can go to a lot of places, and, people don't care, but right. People love Columbus. That's one thing I'm learning. There's also people that don't, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Whenever I went to high school, I knew people that were like listening to a date or remember.
Oh yeah.
And they were going, the song it's I hate this town.
Oh yeah.
And they were listening to that like, this is how I feel about Columbus. Like, they wrote this for Columbus. I'm like, I don't think they did.
No. That's funny, dude. In there's some good shows in Indy.
Yeah, there are.
Indy gets good shows, and
they're doing a lot better.
They are, and there's some good venues in Indy. Like, I went recently to the Hoosier Dome, which is absolutely nothing like what you would think it is. When you hear the name, but it's like, it's the size of where we're at right now.
It's probably this room's probably too big.
But dude, it was like pretty sweet though, you
Yeah.
know, because no matter where you're at, you're like right next to the band, and like legit bands play there.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of cool. So I mean, there's some cool DIY venues in Indy, which I think is missing in so many other places, like that good old school, like anybody can put on a show here, and then but you still have bands like Many Eyes and 68 that will play here, but then like your local bands will also play here some. Like you don't get that everywhere anymore, and so it's cool to see things like Indy doing some of that. Indy's got a good scene happening a little bit right now, and there's some pretty big bands that came out of there too, like you know, really. So
yeah, it was like whenever I went to the Hoosier Dome first, the name of it sounds like it's going to be like an arena.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just a tiny, like, where it's not even a warehouse. It's like a locker room.
Dude, yeah.
And it fits probably 200 people into it, but they're fitting there like sardines.
Right. I mean, it's a place that if there's 100 people, it's packed. It feels like there's a lot of people in there. Yeah.
I saw the first show I went there. I saw Fit for a King.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
And they sold it out,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, "This is the biggest show we've ever had in Indianapolis."
That's crazy.
And now they're doing giant theaters. They do like whenever they play Indianapolis now, they do 2 nights.
That's crazy.
There? No, it's a play at
like Hi-Fi or something, which is another good venue.
That is a good venue. They play at the Old National Center.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is like 1,200 cap.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to that itty bitty place.
200 people. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, Fit for a King, they're coming up, dude. Yeah. They're playing Louder Than Life this year too.
They are.
Yeah. Are you going to that?
I don't know.
Have you gone before?
So I went before it got really good.
Back when it was more new metal, mall metal, is when you went, and now there's decent bands coming.
Yeah, so I went in 2017.
Okay.
And the headliners were Rob Zombie. It was like Rob Zombie and Five Finger Death Punch were headlining Saturday. And then Sunday, I think it was Stone Sour and Prophets of Rage.
Okay.
I think. And then we didn't stay Sunday because I wanted to meet Corey Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
And then no one that I went with was like, I don't want to meet him. I would pay money not to. I'm like, then let's go and you don't.
Yeah.
And you can pay me so I can meet him for free. They're like, no. No.
I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but those headliners sounded awful. There's nothing I could think of that I would want to witness less than Five Finger Death Punch show.
In 2000, like, I'm going to give you, you're right. I've seen them like 4 times.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw them was like peak. Mm-hmm. They did really good the first time. And then ever since, they have been like just coming down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like they did great, and then they've just been like,
yeah.
And they just were not delivering.
Yeah.
Because Ivan can't like scream anymore.
I feel like they commercialize a little more. Which,
yeah.
I mean, I get that too. I mean, I'm not gonna be a hater about it. Like that's what Vince Sevenfold did that too. So.
Right.
Whatever. You do what you gotta do. You know. They're solidifying their future.
Yeah. They found their niche. So it's like I'm not hating them for it.
Sure.
It was just. I think they definitely went from a like thrash point. Like the first 2 albums are really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they brought in this new guy that literally just did like pop music, and he's like, I can make us hits.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we won't have to eat ramen.
Yeah, well, that'll do it.
And that was essentially like, okay.
Yeah.
And then now they're doing nothing but arenas.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah.
You can have haters like me all day, but they're doing all right. You know, they don't care what I think. I wouldn't either. You know. Yeah, I get it, dude. Yeah. This year's has Iron Maiden.
I'm not an Iron Maiden fan.
I look at them as like one of those legendary bands. Like I kind of had this. So me and my wife went a few years ago, or maybe 2 years, I don't remember. And we saw Green Day.
Yeah.
A year they played. And I'm not a huge Green Day person either. Like when I was in high school, I was like, oh, Green Day's cool. But like, seeing them live, I was like, it's cool to see a band that's, you know what I mean, been around this long doing the thing. It's kind of how I view Iron Maiden. Like I like Iron Maiden enough, but also it's like, I mean, this might be the only time you ever get to see a band of their status. It's kind of helped bring up some of that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go see that. I'm at least going Thursday. The rest of it, I mean, Limp Bizkit's playing. You know,
I was supposed to go that year that Limp Bizkit was gonna play it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then rained out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, now's your chance, dude. Limp Bizkit again.
Did you see that they had that guy from the Goonies opening for them whenever they came here last?
Yes. What's his
name?
I don't know, but he thinks a lot of himself. That's the one thing I know. I've seen a lot of interviews, and the dude really is pumped on himself.
Yeah.
Man, is it Feldman or something like?
Corey Feldman.
That's it. Yeah. Dude really, really, like, not many people believe in him, but he believes in himself quite a bit. And that's all you need, you know? Like, as long as you, believe in yourself, and you can do big things. But he believes in himself, for sure.
Have you seen his guitar solos?
Yes.
His mouth, whenever he does it. My girlfriend watches it. She's like, why is he doing that with his mouth? And I said, because he is just killing right now.
Yeah. He's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's something else, man. His songs they're something.
I haven't listened to any of his music. I just watched the solos.
Yeah. I feel like he's just a meme now. Like, you know.
He isn't. It's working. Yeah, he doesn't think he is.
Again, that's the thing, bro. Who am I? Well, do your thing, Corey Feldman.
Yeah. So it was like, I'm trying to remember. I know Lorna Shore played last year.
Yeah.
And then I saw Kubla Khan's on this year.
They're on this year too. After the Burial's on this year, which they'd be pretty cool. There are some good bands playing this year for sure. You know, I mean, if you're a My Chemical Romance fan, if you're in that emo kind of,
I would go see them.
I would see them just because, but and then Tool's playing, you know.
I would go see Tool.
Yeah, they'd be cool.
My friends at work think I'm massively emo, and they're like, "You're gonna go watch My Chemical Romance, and your eyeliner's gonna start to run, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Like, sing the Black.
Hey.
I only like 3 songs by them, and they're like, but you know them by heart.
Yeah. Do you?
I don't know if I'd say that. I know them decently well.
Yeah. Enough to go see them live.
I probably would. It's probably like you with Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Be cool to see.
Yeah.
100%. They're legends. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay. So you're younger than me. But
you can sound a little less like
you're such a child. I'm just joking. No, but when My Chemical Romance was coming up, AFI was also, have you ever heard of AFI?
Yeah.
So they were also kind of those two were kind of doing the thing, and they were bringing up that like kind of more, I'll say like hot topic emo kind of thing going on, you know, and they were kind of in this like tug of war a little bit about who was going to take off. Well, I mean, AFI had some really good albums, and they've done really well too, but I feel like My Chemical Romance was a bigger commercial success than AFI by a landslide. So, but those two bands, it just seems like this fan bases of both has felt like they had to be. But I've always been a huge AFI guy, but MCR I've just never been as much into. I like them enough. Like if I went to Louder in Life, I would sit through a My Chemical Romance show, but
I don't know if I'd sit there for all of it.
I might leave early to beat traffic. Yeah. Skip the encore or whatever it is they do.
Yeah. I don't know what they would do. That would be funny.
Yeah.
But so my girlfriend and me, we want to go to like a show like that. We just haven't.
Yeah.
She wants to see she doesn't want to see Rob Zombie, but she wants to see Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Then I saw him also in 2016, and he was opening for Slipknot, and he did not seem like he really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Mainly because he kept walking off the stage. And I saw people like, go out there.
Yeah.
You're not done. And he's like,
That's crazy. He's just kind of been a different dude anyway, his whole entire career.
Yeah.
He's kind of done his own thing. He's just been kind of, yeah. I feel like that's his gimmick, though, is the I'm too good to be performing in front of you.
It was also pouring down rain.
Oh, yeah, that could do it, too. His makeup was definitely running then.
Yeah, it was just pouring down rain, and he's just going like, Indiana, how are you doing? And then the venue's not all the way full because it was like a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And then me and my buddy are like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And I had to bring like a plastic bag.
Is Slipknot like your jam? You've mentioned them a few times. Are you still a huge fan of theirs, or?
I like them all right. They're one of those bands that got me back into metal music.
Sure.
They were one of those. I was really into rap music for 5 minutes.
Mm.
And then it was whenever I was like in my angsty teen phase, which I still was never down with Slipknot. But it was like Eminem. I was like, he speaks what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And then it was like I discovered Psychosocial. I was like, I really like this song. And then I just kind of kept going and going and going. And that's kind of how it went.
Yeah. So you went from Eminem to Slipknot, and then Slipknot started speaking how you felt?
I guess so, yeah. So terrifying.
Yeah.
But it was like, I didn't really get into like extreme metal for like a while. And then I got into, I was into The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then this one boy at my school was wearing like a Suicide Silence t-shirt. I knew it was a band.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I gotta look them up whenever I get home. So I want to see what they're about. And I was like, you only live once. And have you seen that music video? Well, it's them, but they're in a shooting range. And so then they're just getting lit up by a whole bunch of people just shooting guns at them, shooting crossbows at them, and whatnot. And they must have spent like a small fortune on fake blood.
Yeah.
And so then
you were in.
I was scared of it. Like that's how a lot of it went. Was like I was scared of it, and I was like, but I did like it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm scared of this, but I'm gonna go buy the album.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go listen to it and be scared again.
Yeah.
And then my mom hated it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why not? You know.
What about you? What was it for you?
For metal? Well,
just any of it.
Yeah. I mean, I started really when I was in middle school, Metallica was the thing. You know,
yeah.
Like they were like that band that everybody was like, dude, you gotta listen to this band. You know.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Are you?
Oh yeah, dude.
I wouldn't have thought you were 43.
I'm an old man in comparison to you, bro.
I wouldn't have thought you were 43.
You're still in your angsty 20s, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It feels like it.
But no, so Metallica, and then I picked up guitars. I was like, man, I want to do this. This would be awesome, you know. And so I kind of went from them, and then somebody started showing me some of like hardcore music. I was invited to go to a hardcore show, which metalcore and all that stuff is like all branches off of that.
Yeah.
But hardcore was just like, you know, a lot of power chords and a bunch of chugging, you know. So like I went and saw like Comeback Kid.
Oh, they're really good.
They are. And then Stretch Armstrong and, you know, Madball and some of these like hardcore bands. I was like, yeah, this stuff is sick. You know, like I just love, and the community of it was so amazing, dude. Like it was such a cool, like you'd show up to these shows and like, it was like family, you know, like people were just like so cool to you, you know. And so I went from that to, you know, then like things like Norma Jean started coming out and Atreyu before they started doing like their more commercial success. But like back when like what was it, Butterfly the Curse and like Butterfly Kisses or whatever that album is, they were like very metalcore-y, you know. And then you know, August Burns Red dropped their album Evergreen Terrace, like all these like bands, and I was like started just listening to that Every Time I Die was like, you know. And so I just started getting into those types of shows. And then I started playing in band, did very similar things, and we did some fun stuff too. But yeah, that was kind of it for me, and I haven't grown out of that since, dude. I still listen to all that kind of stuff, Like every time I die, it's still like one of my favorite bands. Them and like Better Lovers now, even though their singer just left. But
I remember you recommending Better Lovers to me.
Yeah,
I did listen to them.
Yeah,
they sound good.
Yeah, very rock, very southern metal, I guess is what they would call. Many Eyes, I like them too. Like they all have that same vibe, but. Yeah.
Did you like As I Lay Dying?
Oh, yeah. I used to listen to them a little bit.
You still listen to them?
No.
Is it because of everything with Tim?
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, I feel like I had to draw a line somewhere, Well, and here's the thing, okay? Like, I do believe in forgiveness. I do. 100%. 100%. Like, we all have to, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, we're all going to need it at some point. But also, like,
That's a lot.
There are times where it's like you can be forgiven, but then you shouldn't. You maybe don't need to be in the same position you were in.
That's right.
Of influence. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel the same way about even like the lead singer of like Brand New. If you've heard of all his stuff, like when he was like inappropriate with people and like with when he was like 20 and it was like this whole conspiracy. He was basically doing some really weird stuff with underage people, and so. But people are like, yeah, forgive and all this stuff. It's like, okay, but then he shouldn't be allowed to step back into this role,
right?
Where he is able to do that again. You know what I mean? And so those are the things where I'm at with it. Like with Tim, it's like, I mean, come on, bro. And he can't keep a band. Like, they literally everybody just quit again, right? Like I don't even know if they have a new. I'm guessing he has a new band because that name of As I Lay Dying is going to bring you players. Like people will come and do it, but
I think it was like they had a new album coming out.
Yeah.
And then everyone quit.
Yeah.
Altogether again.
Yeah.
And then they didn't all quit altogether. It was like one day and the next day, and it was like a solid week.
Yeah.
Of just people just quitting.
Yeah.
And then it was the only original member left. Said I actually quit first. But my posting is bad. So just know they followed me.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't think it matters.
Right. You all are gone. And you probably did the right thing. Like that's my thing. Like he shouldn't get to do that still, I think. But I mean, whatever, bro. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, the dude did some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And he continues to do weird stuff.
He doesn't learn.
He doesn't learn. Exactly. Like he still gets like in these violent spats with people. It's like clearly like the dude's got some stuff, right? And he's got some stuff. So, like go get that figured out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So and there's other bands that I think do it just as well. Like especially that kind of more what I would call like shreddy metalcore. Like there's other bands that do that great. Like August Burns Red does that well. They have that same kind of vibe that, for lack of a better term, that more generic style of, because that's what it all is, right? It's like that little, like, there's a lot of bands doing that, and so you can go find other music. Go do that. Don't listen to Tim. I'm just kidding. Do what you want. But
I've never heard such a slander campaign be so nice. Don't listen to him, but if you do,
you do you, do you. I tend to, especially when it comes to music, I think all of it's subjective, I may not listen and even like things. My kids listen to stuff I think is the worst, but they like it, so I try to like. My son actually takes after me a lot. He listens to a lot of the same stuff I do. My daughter listens to a lot of this like country music, which I'm not like super against, I guess, but some of it's like pretty bad, like for me, like to listen to. But as long as she doesn't listen to this podcast, she'll never know. But I try to let her do her thing, as long as you like something, I'm okay with it. But yeah, so that's kind of how I try to do things, even with that Tim thing, like I got friends that still listen to them too. I judge them hard, but I'm just kidding.
Oh man, but my girls, they listen to a bunch of different stuff. One of them listens to that song Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club. I don't even know what that is.
It's like a pop song.
Yeah.
And now they've ruined it. It's where anytime I hear it, I think about them, which makes me happy to hear it.
Sure.
It's a terrible song.
But it reminds you of your kids.
Yeah, but it reminds me of them, so that I'm like listening to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this reminds me of them. And I'm like, and I hate the song.
I love them, but not this song.
That's right.
Yeah,
they did an AI version of War covering it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Dude, that's hilarious. You can do anything with AI now, dude.
I was dressed up and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, hey, come watch this. And she's like, this sounds bad. I'm like, well.
Now you know how I feel. That's funny. Well, anymore, dude, with the AI stuff, like I've seen where you got people like if Nickelback did this song, or if Hootie and the Blowfish did this song about, which is absolutely wild to me. But there was that dude who did he had a whole Instagram channel where that's what he did. Like, if Incubus did Baby You Got Back, or whatever. And he was awesome, though. Like, dude sounded just like everything he was mimicking. But now AI does that. Crazy.
The other guy doesn't have a job.
What's that?
The other guy doesn't have a job.
I know, dude. Come on. Yeah.
I watched this one. I got off TikTok. There was this one, and it was like AI, but it was like cartoon characters covering songs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My favorite was Bobby Hill doing "Call Me Maybe."
That's hilarious. I mean, AI, man, it's crazy how far it's gone.
Yeah.
I know where we're at today, And it seems like it came a little bit. I mean, I know it wasn't out of nowhere, but it does feel a little bit like we went from not having access to it to now it's like you can develop whole albums with it or create all these crazy video images some of these prompts that people have to be putting in for some of these videos. You're like, dude, you're twisted, bro. Like it's wild out, So yeah.
It does feel like we kind of went from like not being able to use it to all of a sudden be like, oh, we can use this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to use your cell phone. And now you're allowed to. We're all just doing it.
Well, I mean, dude, I feel like that's kind of been technology, right? Like overall, we went from, telephone to, we were watching a commercial the other day, just like an old school commercial about the first, like when people were carrying those gigantic boxes and it was like a cell phone. That was like a car phone. So, and so we were watching that commercial and that was like from 1990 or 1991 or something. Yeah. And so like, I know it's a while back, but you look at that, it's like, I mean, we started having cell phones on the like most people had cell phones by, I don't know, 2007. I'm just making up numbers right now, but like it really wasn't that long ago. Right. And today, like your cell phone's as powerful as laptops were back in 2000, like our technology rapidly advances and some great aliens. That's all I'm saying. It's aliens.
My dad was watching this show, and this guy it was like an old show. This guy was a detective. He's like, I got to make a phone call. And he went to his car. It was an old detective show. He went to his car and he pulled out a home phone. It was a rotary phone that was into his car. And he went, operator. And I was like, Dad, how old is this show?
Yeah, dude.
And it was like an actual home phone and everything. It's like, phones used to be huge.
Oh, dude, no doubt, man. There were movies. There was a movie with a rotary phone. I can't remember what the movie was, but the dude literally took the rotary phone and smashed the dude's face in with it. I mean, those things were sturdy back in the day. Yeah, it's wild, man.
If I had to use a rotary phone, I'd be stranded.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah? Wouldn't know what to do with it, huh?
No.
Man. See, I was born in 82, so I live in that weird world where I lived without technology like we have today, but also grew up with technology like we have today.
Right.
So, like, I'd survive either way.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You'd be screwed. We went to the Lexington Comic-Con, and I remember being scared. This was like years ago. I remember being scared because my friend's ex-boyfriend was like, we don't need a GPS. I'm like, you don't need a GPS.
Yeah.
And he goes, we're going to use road signs. And we used road signs the whole way there, and I was like, had so much anxiety. It's like, I can't do this.
I mean, dude, here's the thing. Like, with GPS now, like, man, my first, 2 years here, I GPSed everywhere. Almost every time I went.
Right.
Just because it's like, it's here, But when me and my wife went on our honeymoon, I had a Windows phone, which, Windows cell phone.
Right.
Back when those were I thought those were going to be the thing, So I bought into that instead of the iPhone, So I had a Windows phone. And to have GPS on our honeymoons, we went on our honeymoons. So we were like, hey, we don't have any idea of where to go. So to have GPS, we had to spend $20.99 a month to get this GPS app that we only used for the honeymoon. So we canceled right afterwards. But I was like, man, that's free now. And it's way better because we'd still get lost constantly. It was giving us the wrong directions. But, man, it is crazy. I haven't used road signs or any of that type of stuff. I'm GPS everywhere still. If I go anywhere, that's what I'm doing.
Yes, he was very adamant about it. He's like, we're going to use road signs. And I was like, okay.
No, thank you. That's funny, man. Yeah, that's wild. I see that you go to a lot of those, though. Comic-Cons.
Yeah, I'm the designated driver.
Yeah?
Yeah. And so then it's like a vacation for me, kind of, to go to those.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I just enjoy it. I enjoy meeting stuff. I'm nerdy.
Yeah, me too.
And so it was like, we met Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
He is tall.
What's been your favorite Comic-Con you've gone to? Because I know you've gone to the Indy one. You just said you went to the Lexington one. But what's the one that you're like, man, this one was the one?
Well, so I went to Fan Expo, which is basically a Comic-Con, but they don't want to call it a Comic-Con.
Okay.
Because they're embarrassed, I guess.
That's funny.
And so then that was in Chicago. That one was a lot of fun because I met Mark Hamill there.
Oh, that's cool.
But then in December, we usually went to the one in Columbus, Ohio. It's called GalaxyCon.
I've seen a lot about GalaxyCon.
That one was a lot of fun. This last year, they had a whole bunch of issues, I guess. That one's fun. The Cincinnati one is itty bitty, and I don't recommend it.
It's what?
It's super small, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
But I like the big ones because I like going there for a weekend.
Yeah, you get to see a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
Yeah, and every day is different.
Yeah.
But the Chicago one was a lot of fun just because it was it's a different place, Yeah. Also, it wasn't super cold.
Yeah.
So that also really helps whenever you're not freezing everywhere you go.
Sure.
Because the one in the GalaxyCon one is literally the first few days of December.
Yeah.
And so you're just walking around. You're like, do you want to go outside? It's like,
no, thank you.
I want to either go to this event or sit in the B&B. I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
And so the one in August is a lot better. You see a lot more crackheads, but
it's a trade-off.
That's right.
I haven't been to a Comic-Con. I want to go. I'm going to BlizzCon this year.
What's that?
That's the Blizzard games. So World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft.
Where's that at?
Overwatch in Anaheim, California.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we just bought our tickets and we're flying out there in September. So it's me and my friend Robert, who we used to do a podcast together, and then our wives are going. So we're just going to go and hang out, man. It's like 2 days.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, dude. So.
Do you like board games?
I do. I know Gen Con's in Indy.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that. That's in August, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I think it's sold out.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. That's a big deal, man.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was such a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge, which is crazy. I'd love to. I think that would be a fun thing to go to because board games are cool. I'm into that, but just never have done it yet. So.
Yeah, there's a store in Franklin. It's called A&B, and it's all just board games.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
Yeah. Are you into that stuff too?
I want to be.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a commitment.
It is a commitment. Yeah. Well, I think I like video games too. Board games I enjoy, but you can play them wrong.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of front end work. I used to, before we moved here, I used to have a group that we'd play, and we would rotate who would have to actually learn the game before we'd show up. Which was a good system, because but you'd watch a YouTube video. Some of these games, dude, you'd have to watch an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of. It depends on what it is, because some of these games get real uber complicated.
Yeah.
And so, but they're fun, So I like that type of stuff. I've always wanted to try D&D, but I've never done that. So there's a lot of things that I dabble. I'm always curious about all these things.
Yeah. The problem is, it's like with a lot of those, it's like I'm curious about it and I'm gonna buy it. And it's like, well, that's like $800.
You're right. Yeah, it's an investment.
It is an investment. So you're like, I hope I like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna do D&D, it depends on what you're doing with it. But I mean, and I'm not speaking on experts, so there's probably just be somebody watching us go, that's not true. Maybe, I don't know. But if you want to do DMing, if you want to dungeon master something, you have to buy multiple books, and it's like a pretty big investment to do it. And then there's different levels of it. Are you going to be doing the current version? Are you going to, and
there's dice.
If people want to argue about which ones are better, whatever. So it looks cool. Me and my friends started playing that Marvel one, and that one was pretty fun. So I like the idea of it.
Is it fun?
Oh yeah, dude.
I haven't played it.
It's really awesome. Yeah, we play it. We started trying to record it, and we did some stuff. We were gonna try to post it and stuff, and they're fun. But there were times and moments in it where I'm like, man, I don't want to post this. Someone would say something crazy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But but it was a lot of fun. You build something, you build a character in the Marvel universe, and somebody, it was pretty sick. So
you build a character in the Marvel universe, and someone accidentally kills them, and you're like, I feel like I knew him.
Yeah, it is kind of true. Yeah, that is a good thing about it, because a lot of these characters you already know. You know their backstories. You don't have to go through all that, but yeah, it's fun. That kind of stuff, I'm always interested in dabbling.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you like Star Wars?
I do like Star Wars. I would not call myself. I'm very careful about this, because you're laughing because you already know Star Wars fans are like a different breed. You can't say you're a Star Wars fan to a Star Wars fan, because if you're not a hardcore into Star Wars, because then they'll test you. I would say I am a super casual Star Wars person. I like it, and I've watched it. I've watched The Mandalorian. I've watched all the movies, but I don't study it on a deep level. I got some friends that do that. I watched The Acolyte. And just so you know, I don't know if that's gonna sting or anything, but I thought the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, this is all right. See, that's it. But I have a friend. I said it to you, bro. It's not all right, dude. It's he's like, it's literally an insult to the Star Wars universe. I'm like, so I was like, it had action stuff. I mean, I get it though, I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings person, but I also am not against War of the Ring. So that just shows where my mindset is,
Yeah. I like Lord of the Rings. I'm probably like you though with that one, where it's I probably would like that.
Yeah.
And then Star Wars is definitely one of those things where it's what did you just say?
Exactly. I feel like in nerdom, the older you get, the more focused you have to get. I don't have time to be super nerd into multiple things. I can only do it for so many things. Lord of the Rings is that thing for me. I named my daughter Arwen, which is a character out of books, Is
it?
Oh yeah. So there's things like that. So I'm invested in that world. And so Star Wars, in order to get invested in it, I was like, I don't know if I got time for all that.
I know you could have started at an early age.
That's right. That's right. And then here's I was looking at my friend Dylan, who we did a podcast together with him too. He was in Nerdy Reads with me, but he's a huge Star Wars guy. And so we would talk sometimes, and I'd be like, so hey man, if I do this watch list, where do I start? X, Y, and Z. And then we get to Star Wars Rebels or whatever it is. And then he'd be like, hey, yeah, you got to watch this here, and it'll help you understand this. And I'm looking at him this is this is hundreds of episodes.
Yeah.
of like, I don't know if I have that in me right now. You know, like that's a lot of episodes of a show.
I had that same conversation with somebody where he was like, I'm thinking about starting to watch Star Wars. Where should I start? I'm like, well, you want to start in order or the way it makes sense?
Sure.
He's like, I guess the way it makes sense. I'm like, all right, forget the Acolyte.
No, Acolyte's first, right?
Doesn't matter. So then you just do all this. And he goes, okay, and then what do I do? I'm like, and then the last 3 movies, 7, 8, 9, watch 7, forget the last 2. They don't matter either. And he's like, but they made them. I'm like, they don't count.
That's funny.
They don't count.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. Why? I'm like, they're bad.
Yeah.
They're really bad. He goes, but they look good. I'm like, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And so I was an
So you're not a new Star Wars person. You don't like the new movies.
No.
No, okay. See, that's me. I'm casual. I like them. I think they're all right. But I'll let you.
I know.
I'll let you tell me why they're bad, though. It's okay.
It's not even. Well, thank you. You told us why Tim Lambesis was bad.
What's that?
You told us why Tim was bad. I don't feel like the same care was put into it.
I get that.
And then I try to be like that, like you mean like, well, it's okay, it's all right. And then like I'll sit there, and then there's like a voice in me that's like, that's not okay.
Yeah,
that's not okay. Reid, this is your childhood, and I'm like, yeah, but this isn't. I didn't make this. I can't be mad about it. It's like, yes, we can. Yes, we are.
It's like you have this little on your shoulder. It's like, it's okay, Reid. Yeah. It's not okay.
I know it's so much louder.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right. And you make a lot of sense. And you're loud. So that means you're right.
Are you a Reddit guy that gets on there and like gets real angsty about this stuff, or you let it go?
No, I keep it mainly to people that are. I keep it mainly to the people that are brave enough to say their opinion to me in person.
Yeah.
And then I go and be like, well, you don't even watch it, do you? And they're like, well, no. Like, didn't trust me.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm a lot more calmed down than that. I used to be very angry about this.
Yeah.
But so I was gonna say, they're having a Star Wars celebration in California, and it's basically like a Comic-Con for just Star Wars.
Where's that at? Is that in Disneyland?
I don't know where it's at.
Okay. I think I've heard about this. Maybe I could be wrong about what location. But go on.
So they're hosting it in California this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pitching it to one of my buddies, and I said, we should go there. It's a lot closer this time.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, where's it at? I'm like, it's in California. He goes, where was it at last time? I said, Japan.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, it's closer.
So you going?
I want to. So they only do it like every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Because they really try to hype it up.
Mm-hmm. That'd be sweet, dude. Now, I've read some of the Star Wars novels from the podcast I was on, and those were really, really cool. Like, I will say that. Like, really good. Like, I remember reading that and going, man, I can get behind this. Like, it was probably some of my favorite Star Wars stuff I've engaged in. You know?
Right. And so then my issue with the new movies and some of the new shows is like their argument for the direction the show would go in is they said there's no source material.
Mm.
There's no new ideas. How are we supposed to come up with this? There's no one coming up with ideas. It's like, well, just like what you just said. There's literally hundreds of novels.
Lots of novels. You know, good novels too, like well liked novels, you know, that you could base some of that stuff on.
Right.
Which I think is kind of cool. But, you know, I mean, Star Wars fandom is a very unique thing. You know, my friend introduced me to a YouTube channel where this lady lady talks about plants from the Star Wars universe. Yeah. Which is crazy, you know, like, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Star Wars has got a very unique fan base, and it's cool. I like when people like things. I think it's cool when people are passionate about their stuff, you know. even if it's not my thing. I'm like, I like that you like it.
I like that you're having fun.
Yeah, I like that you're having fun with this. That's okay with me. I'm okay with that.
All right. So you moved here from Kentucky and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whatnot. So what was Kentucky like?
Dude, so I like Louisville. I've lived in a couple different places in Kentucky. Kentucky's a weird state because Louisville doesn't want to claim Kentucky, and Kentucky doesn't want to claim Louisville. So Louisville almost feels like it's kind of an island,
Right.
It's a very different, politically it's different. There's a lot of things different about Louisville than the rest of Kentucky. Lexington's a cool city too. You've been there, right? As what you were saying. Lexington's a pretty cool city. It's got some things going on. But I lived in Louisville for a long time, loved it. And then when I was 19, I moved to Eastern Kentucky for a little while with my friend James. And we went there and worked on trucks. And Eastern Kentucky was a different place. We lived in Dorton, Kentucky, which is in Pike County, which is Eastern Kentucky. Everybody lives in hollers, it was crazy. It was a very unique place. A lot of addiction, all the things that you see, and the things that people talk about when they talk about Eastern Kentucky, the very, for lack of a better term, the very redneck vibes, that's exactly what it was like. A lot of friendly people too, though. It was just very, but the drug addiction was just heavy there. And some of that was, when you were there, it was promoted to people there, and so, and people just bought into it, and so it just became rampant, and it's very poverty stricken. All that stuff is all real, but it's beautiful there, and there are people who love where they're at. So I lived there for a little while, and I always tell my wife, one day, whenever, because I work in ministry now, but the day that our ministry life, church ministry ends up, we retire from that, I would love to do something like go to Eastern Kentucky and just, I don't know, start some sort of nonprofit in some way and help people there too, or jump in on something that's already happening there. I don't know, but because I have a passion for that area. I think it's a cool area, and people there, I think, there's a lot of misunderstanding of how things are, but anyway, but there's also a lot of great organizations that are doing great things. So, there's a lot of cool things happening there, and people are working to try to improve it. But dude, it's just like anything else, areas that are improving still need more people to jump in and keep carrying the torch. And so but yeah, so we live there, very different, but it's like night and day, and even Lexington and Louisville's night and day. Frankfort and Louisville are night and day. Those are, to me, Lexington and Frankfort and all that is Kentucky. When people think of Kentucky, that's Kentucky. Louisville is Louisville. It's a city, very, very much a city, and so, and people there, they isolate to that area, and so, yeah, but that's I'm much more Louisville native person there than I was any of the other spots, but I love Kentucky. It's a great state, personally,
Right.
It's a weird place, but I love it. Yeah. So, and Indiana's cool too.
Yeah, Indiana. I feel like Indiana and Kentucky are very much, they're right next to each other, but I feel like they're very much kind of the same.
Yeah.
In that aspect of being we're both, you've got people that are we've got to get out of here in both states. But then there's also people no, this is home. This is where I'm going to rot one day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. State pride. Every state's got people that are just gung-ho about how much they love it. And there's people who hate on it, and it's all driven by all sorts of different things, right?
Yeah.
But, I think we get a lot of that in the Midwest because there's a lot of division and different things, and people feel very strongly about different things. And, and so when you have that, you naturally have people who are I love it here. And you have people who are I hate it here because I don't like the people or whatever,
Right.
I follow the Indiana Reddit, and a lot of it is that, right? People are the people of Indiana are the worst, but you hang out here a little bit and you meet some pretty decent people, right?
Right.
it's just, you can't blanket it like that. It's kind of
I think that's how it is everywhere, though.
Right. That's exactly right. And so like no matter what you look at, like every state has people who love it and people who hate it. And I think that oftentimes we try to run, we're like, I gotta get out of here. And you go somewhere else and it's like it's more of the same. It's you're gonna find things and people are gonna people no matter where you go.
Yeah.
I think you just gotta lock in and try to, kind of make some shifts in where you're at. You can control what you do. You can't control what other people do.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of, I don't know. People just need to love each other well, so I don't know.
Right. I've had on a bunch of like addicts and stuff on here, and they've all talked about it, and they've all been like, the stigma and stuff also is like the problem. And so it's like, they're always like, one thing most of them have said is like, I wish that I wouldn't get judged so heavily for that. And I wish that I could, because none of them are like overly proud of it.
Sure.
But they're proud of like that they got through it and everything.
Yeah. They're proud of where they are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, we shouldn't be judged for where we were.
Yeah.
Because look at how far we've came today.
Yeah. Well, I think the reality is of that is that no matter what your life has been, whether it was addiction or, anything really, right? Like, I hope in 5 years I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
I hope I've grown. Now, I hope I keep moving the dial up, and I can look back at 10 years ago and go, man, I didn't necessarily love that person the same way I love myself today, or whatever, or I wish that, people would, because there's people because I'm not the same person I was, even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, some of those things were just, I struggled with all that too, and there's people that knew me from back then and they still see you as that person, but that's not true. You know what I mean? And so, I think that a lot of times there is a stigma to it. I do think that as a society we've grown in that a little bit. There is more of an awareness, right? Like there's things that have gotten better. We haven't arrived. That is
right.
a fact. Like we have not arrived. Like there's still a long way to go. But I feel like it's better a little bit, and we just got to keep on moving that dial, keep building on it, and I think it is having people on podcasts like this and doing things like that where people can hear from people who have gone through some of those things and they could see that, hey, like that's like, I know him or man, he works the same job I work, or they enjoy the same things I enjoy. You know what I mean? Like it does break walls down, because now it's like, I'm not just thinking about the addiction, I'm thinking about the person, because that's what they're people, right? Like,
it's like that. And then it's also to me, it's like, they had it too.
Yeah.
They did it too. And because my biggest thing was everything is like, I can't get through it. I can't get through it.
Yeah.
I can't handle this. I can't do it. There's no way I could. And it's like, then you have like Travis come on here, and he comes on and he talks about everything that he did and whatnot for like the last however many years. And he's like, yeah, and this is what I do now. And God is good. And he's like, if he can forgive me for everything bad I ever did, then I'm confident that he can do anything else. And it's like, dang.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you feel like you're the villain in your own story most of the time.
It's true.
Yeah. And because you feel like you're the villain, you feel like you're actually like this ominous, like menace to the world.
Yeah. Well, we work that up in our mind too, right? Like we do. We really, really do. And I think the reality is none of us are beyond redemption.
Right.
Like we can be redeemed, and we can see the other side of it, and we can find people who will care for us and will love us well and all those things. Because sometimes I think that as we feel isolated from the world, we start to isolate ourselves too, you know, because we're like, man, and that could be a defense mechanism too, right? Like we can go, man, okay, like one person, and that's sometimes we don't understand sometimes, I think, the impact of a single interaction can have.
Yeah.
You know, like, so like if you came to me and you said something and my reaction was negative towards you in that, you could potentially, you could kind of start to kind of close up and how open you would be. Let's just say we can use something as simple as Star Wars. You can come up and say something to me about Star Wars, and I'm like, hey, dude, nerd, like, or whatever. I get crazy with it, right? And that could make you go, well, maybe I won't share that as much with somebody now, you know? And the more things like that happen, the more closed off you can start to become, right? And then all of a sudden you isolate. And isolation, honestly, is one of the most dangerous places that we can be.
Yeah.
You know? And isolation in and of itself sometimes is not bad. Like sometimes we all refill in different ways. Some of us, it's like, hey, I do need to go sit in a quiet space by myself for a little while. And that replenishes us, right? But if that is our go-to constantly, and it's because we're trying to avoid things all the time, and I'm just going to be in my own thoughts all the time, that can be a pretty tough place for us to live, you know? And so that's why, I mean, you see so many things and people just find themselves in such dark spaces because they feel so alone in it, you know? And that's why I do think, you know, like you see things where people are like, hey, like I'm living out loud and I'm coming forward and saying like, hey, this is my story. Like those things are powerful because now that person who has been isolated is like, no, I see that because that's me. You know, like, wait, if Travis did that, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like you see more like, and so that's why things like that are important. And sharing your stories are important. And, and being, and us all thinking about the way we interact and kindness and all that stuff is all so daggone important. You know, we gotta think about things because our words matter a whole lot. And, you know,
and it's brave though. It's brave to be vulnerable like that because the internet and people are rude.
They are 100%, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard because, like, you know, you could think about like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, or I'm going to say this thing, or we're going to post this video, or we're going to do this thing and share our thoughts on how we're feeling about a thing. And sometimes it's not going to be received super well by every person. Or, I mean, internet trolls are real, and all those things are real, you know, and like. And the internet has made us, you know, not to be like super old man about this, but it has desensitized us a little bit to like what we do, right? Like, because now we can be behind the screen a little bit and we don't feel like, hey, like I'll never see this person. Yeah. So I'm going to say whatever I want to say right now, even if some of it's not true. I'm just going to be hateful here, you know? And I don't know, that kind of stuff. I'm just like, man, like we could be better. Right. Yeah. You know, like we could be better. But yeah.
Right. Do you know who Kim Patterson is from Kill Tony?
Yeah.
He said someone was, I guess now he's not on Kill Tony anymore. Now he's on SNL.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But so someone was responding to him and be like, you suck and you're stupid. And he goes, oh yeah? And he said, come say that to my face. And he like posted his tour dates.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I'll be there. And like the next week he goes, I met him and he said nothing. So
exactly, you know, you know, and I think that's the thing, and people are people, man. Like everybody has feelings. That's the thing. Right. Like no matter how tough we are, like it does suck to hear somebody say you suck at something. Yeah. Like it does. Like I don't know, man. I mean, I get up on stage, you know, and play weekly.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that like it is a very vulnerable thing, and I love doing it. I really do. Like this is not oh man, like it's you know, it is great. But also there are times where people don't love what you do, or whatever. And sometimes you have to take that stuff in and you go, okay, like I'm doing the best I can at it, right? But also it's like, dude, it's not fun to hear, you know, especially if it's like it depends on where the heart's at or how the approach is in it, you know. And so, yeah.
So this doesn't happen often, but I know it does happen because I've seen it.
Sure.
How do you? There's sometimes technical issues because
that happens.
That happens. Yeah. Nothing's ever perfect. How do you keep a straight face?
Me?
Yeah.
Shoot. You know,
because me and Elizabeth, it'll happen and like we'll laugh.
Yeah. I oftentimes, I don't know if you were there that week, but my ears went out. I could not hear anything. So I just called it out. Go, hey, life happens sometimes. Like, hey, dude, I cannot hear anything. And then I just started making jokes and talking.
Right.
And just being real, like you watch a lot of these guys, like the big bands that get up there and, I mean, they just authentically handle that stuff. They're just like, hey, like, I'm having an issue here. My guitar's not working or whatever.
Right.
And they just handle it, And so, like, I'm like, people know, like, we are a tech heavy place,
Yeah.
And so things are going to happen from time to time. And most of the time people know what's going on out in so like there's really no point in hiding it at that point. Like if a light's going nuts over here, which we've had that happen before, And so in our tech director, Eli, he's great at what he does, but he comes in and he runs out, fixes it real quick. And it's like, that's the right move. Because at the end of the day, people know that's messed up, so that's really, I mean, ultimately you just got to own that stuff. You don't want to be weird about it. Like you don't want to be like, like freaking out and having like, whatever. Because then I feel like that just adds to it. I just go, this is not working or whatever. So we're trying to add some things to try to help with some of that too. But you're never going to fix all of it.
I get that. Yeah, I would just laugh.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes. I walk off stage sometimes. I don't know if you all seen it. I'll walk back there and Eli's back there trying to fix something as things are going on live. And I'm like, he's like, I was like, like we're just like, we just laugh. We're like unplugging and plugging stuff in real quick. But yeah, it's, but when you have good people that you trust, that helps too. Like honestly, like, I mean, we got a great team where we're at. Like we really do. That's a great group of people that are doing things there at the Ridge, and Eli leads them well on the tech side of things. And so if something's breaking, like I always know, like somebody's working on it. Like I don't even think about it. Like if it's out of my control, I know that they are doing it, And so, I mean, that's part of that too. Like if I didn't think somebody was handling it, I'd probably be a little more stressed out. But I usually don't tend to stress because they're just like, I know they got it. Dude, I'm doing the thing that I always told people when I did a podcast not to do, and I keep hitting the table. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Have you ever? I know the podcast is called Nerdy Reads.
Yeah.
What's the last book that you read?
Shoot, I've been reading. Been recently digging into books called the Red Wall. I don't know if which were these. They're older, but. Whatever, dude. Safe space, huh? It was. It's like animals, okay? It's like mice warriors and stuff. It's like they were kind of for kids, but for whatever reason, but they're not. But they are. Like they're considered young readers' books, but it's like a mouse that's like a hero of this story, and they're battling other woodland creatures, and for some reason, I like it. Me
and Elizabeth had that same conversation. Like these books, whenever we were younger, are much better than like adult books.
Yeah, and I like that stuff sometimes. Like I used to. I like Stephen King. Like I like reading some of his stuff, but I can only read like a couple of his books a year if I read that many. Because like after I read one, I need a break because like it messes with me a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I need to like have a mind cleanse for a minute before I even think about diving into something else this weird.
You need to listen to mice fighting in the woods.
That's it, bro. I need to find my. That's exactly right. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've been in that a lot lately. So we read that book, and that's taken off, and like super happy for that dude. I mean, he was an author. He wrote those books like years and years ago, and now they're like exploding where he's getting the show and everything,
that's wild,
which is pretty cool. And these books are like, if you haven't read these or whatever, I think these are interesting, but it's like basically like a video game in real life kind of thing. Like, it's kind of cool. Like he levels up, he does all these things. I know it sounds weird, but it's totally cool. Like the world's ending and he gets thrown in this game that's being brought on by the universe's biggest powers, and they watch it as like it's a game show.
Really?
And so like people are dying, all these things are going on, but it's him and he's getting all these powers, and like, but like some of them are like not great, like, and so, but he's figuring out ways to make them work, and it's pretty
so like one of the powers is like you can balance a checkbook.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's exactly like that. And like, he's getting like, but he's like, I just need clothes. I need clothes because he's running around. Because like when all this happened, like it was like at night, like he was like getting ready for bed. So he's running around this maze with these boxers on. So he's like, I just need boots. And like the whole gimmick of the thing is like, he's not finding pants. He's just like trying to find. So it's hilarious. But I mean, the audio book of this is like, it's amazing. So like,
what's it called?
It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl. I couldn't recommend it more, honestly. And when we were doing our podcast and we did our Dungeon Crawler Carl episode, like it was our first episode, like it broke out our show a little bit.
Really?
And so like it was like we got tons of views, a lot of feedback, like all this stuff. So we started getting all these followers, our show. And so we started trying to do more of those, but we stopped doing our stuff because honestly, it was just taking up a ton of time. And at the end of the day, like, time. And so I just was having a baby. All these things were going on. And so we were like, we were at our highest, but we were like, I don't know. We were just like, it took a lot to get here.
That's a good point to leave, though.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. I was like, man, we're at our biggest that we've ever been. And I was like, but also like it took a lot to get here, and to make another turn would take a lot. And so we were just like, let's call it now while we're feeling pretty good, and we were having fun with it. We grew our passion for reading again by doing that show, and so we got a lot out of it. And me and him, we were close. We were bros, we still are, and I think we grew even closer doing that, like because it was a lot of fun. So we got a lot out of it still. So he's the one I'm going to BlizzCon with. We're gonna go hang out and nerd out over World of Warcraft. So like
that'll be fun.
Yeah, be a good time. So.
The last book, I'm reading a book. It's Tough.
Okay.
That's literally what it's called. Is Tough. It's by Terry Crews.
Okay.
You know who that
Terry
is?
Terry Crews? Is that the actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Old Spice guy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's his book.
That's funny. Yeah.
And it's not a funny book.
So is it like a self-help, like not self-help, but like a biography kind of vibe?
Yeah, it's like a biography. It sounds like it came out in like 22, like 2022. I don't really know, but he references 2021 in it, so that makes me feel like.
Yeah.
But
well, I know that dude's been through a lot. Like he's talked about that a little bit because he's pretty funny in most of his like roles that he's been in and stuff like that. Yeah.
And like he reads it himself also. Yeah. I can't really read.
Sure.
Because I'm very dyslexic. Sure. I literally just found out today I have ADHD.
Oh, dang.
Which is why I keep reading like the same pages like over and over. And I'm like, why are they still walking down this hall?
Yeah.
And so it was like just listening to his book. And he's just like, yeah, my dad was abusive and my mom was all right. And so like, I'm like, okay, mom was all right. Well, so then he splits it up. He goes like, beginning chapter is like Dan. And so you'll hear about Dan, all right? Next chapter will be like, I was wrong.
Mm.
And I was wrong is split up into 3 to 6 segments. Those are chapters. And it's about like, I was wrong. My mom does beat me.
Mm.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And so then he just splits it up like that. And it's been really good. I'm like halfway through it.
That's cool.
And it's been eerily similar, like listening to it, because like I went through my fair share of stuff too, and whatnot. And it's just like listening to it. It's very much like I need to know how this ends because I feel like a kinship with it. I'm like I need to know that it's okay, and it's kind of like what we talked about. Yeah. Being like I need to know that this has an ending that makes me not want to die.
Yeah.
And so then it was like just reading it, and it's like. Because it affects my mood. And Elizabeth's like, do you want to keep listening? I'm like, I have to listen to it. Because I need to know how this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like with BoJack Horseman was that way. Did you ever watch BoJack Horseman? It was based on Bob Saget's life.
Okay.
But this guy was literally a horse, but it was a man and whatnot. This dude was like super depressed. His parents were super abusive and neglecting. Became a drug addict, an alcoholic. And super self-destructive and narcissistic, like all that other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so in the show, like I very much like gravitate. I have a problem where like I gravitate to like the worst person possible. I think we all probably do that.
Sure.
And so then I'm just like, damn, that's me.
Mm.
And I'm like, I need to figure out how BoJack ends. I need to know how to figure out how this show ends because that is me. That is who I am. This is who I am. And so then I was like, he ends up like almost show. I'm gonna have to believe that. Listen, he ends up about doing that, and I was like, is that really how it's gonna end? And I was like, but not for him. I meant not for him, but for like me. I was like, is that really how it's gonna end? I was like, oh crap. And so then it was like season finale. It's like, oh man, I gotta wait like another 6 months or so to figure out like how this is gonna go. The show ends up ending, and he ends up getting like his best friend leaves him and whatnot. Like just was like, uh, sometimes you can be thankful that this person is in your life, but they weren't meant to be in your life forever. Whatnot, right? He ends up getting sober, and he goes to jail. So that doesn't sound like a happy ending, but he goes to jail.
Sure.
He goes to jail, and he's doing much better. And it was like, oh, it was a much happier ending. I'm like, I'm gonna avoid jail, but
yeah, but you saw like, hey, there's hope in it. So
yeah,
there's hope
for
you.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, that's a happy ending, kinda.
Sure.
It definitely was like avoid jail, and drugs, but the rest of it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I think that's part of it, right? We're always seeking some hope in things, right? Like
right.
we want to see like that there's hope and that there's goodness and that there's something good, you know?
Right.
And that's phases, right? Like, and that's probably why you watched that. You needed it then. Now you need tough a little bit. Like you're needing this, you know, as we progress in life, we keep running into things that we're like, hey, I need to see that things, even though they're hard, things are going to be okay.
Right.
You know, like, or, you know, that I'm going to, you know, I'm going to be able to persevere, you know, and that's part of it, right? Like we're persevering sometimes. And sometimes because life can really be tough and life can be super hard. And I mean, sometimes that's a mental health stuff. And there's things that can just feel like we're just having things bear down on us. And we need to see like, hey, I can persevere. Right. And there is hope for me, you know? And so, you know, and yeah.
Right. And it's like,
you feeling that today?
That show?
Are you feeling okay today?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right today. That was yesterday. So,
yeah, sometimes it's like day by day. Sometimes, huh?
Yeah, so it's like day by day and whatnot. It's like I got a tattoo there recently. That's why if you see me scratching my leg,
that's okay.
That's why I'm like,
yeah, I'm not judging you, bro.
Okay, that's what I've done it like a couple times. Like you're probably wondering what's going on. That's why.
No, you're good, bro.
I'm not scratching my tattoo. You didn't see me. I didn't scratch my tattoo.
No scratching on tattoos.
That's right.
Yeah. None of that's happened.
No.
Yeah.
Some people might be upset by it.
I know.
People that do it.
I know. People get wild about that, dude. I get it. So.
But yeah, it was like no, like I recently kind of like quit everything that was bad and whatnot. And because I have like really bad, I guess they call it extreme depressive disorder or massive depressive disorder or whatever. And I don't know. They call all of it that now. I don't really think you can have massive depressive disorder if there's not a small depressive disorder. Does that make sense? But so I don't know. That was my thought with that. But
yeah.
But I basically recently like quit everything I was using to medicate that in an unhealthy way though.
Sure.
Because it was like we talked about it, and it was like it was messing with my brain and everything. It was changing the way I perceived life and whatnot. And so then it was changing the way I was living my life and treating people. And so then it was like, whenever I stopped, um, everything that I had been escaping or running from or trying to forget, but just burying very much surfaced. And it's like, oh yeah, this is why I did all that, because I was trying to outrun all this. And so it's like stuff from like the last 15 years and whatnot. It's like, I'm almost 30. I shouldn't be worried about stuff I did whenever I was 15.
Yeah.
And so it was like stuff like that just affecting my life.
Yeah.
In my brain. And then it's like, because I'm not messing with it as much. I'm not messing with it at all because I'm not able to medicate it the way I was. Um, like my anxiety, my depression is like in full bore. And so it's just kind of like finding new healthy outlets and everything.
Yeah.
Because it was very destructive and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of those healthy outlets you found?
TBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be announced. So okay. Nothing yet.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. It's interesting. Because I said a little bit earlier. That's part of my story too. I had I self-medicated for a long time.
Yeah.
And I didn't even. I work at a church, but I haven't always gone to church. I didn't grow up going to church at all. I didn't even start going until I was like 23, or 21 or something like that. I don't know, I lose track of time. But, I was a little bit older. And so and even after I started going, I didn't have it figured out, and I think it's part of it, right? Like, we don't have it figured out. I still don't. Like, I'm still figuring out things, all the time because phases of life change, like, I was single, and then as I started kind of getting a grasp on things, and I became married, and then I'm having to figure that out, and then my wife and I figured out how to be married at first, we're still figuring that out.
Yeah.
Like, and I think, we have a good life and we do some things well, but we're always learning, how can I be better, a better husband, a better dad, all that type of stuff. But, I, for a long time, struggled with who I was and what I was doing. And, I struggled with holding on to things, and I think about anxiety, and even a lot of times it comes from us thinking backwards or us thinking too much about ahead and not so much about where we're at right now, like, and I tend to look back, and that was my biggest thing is, like, man, I just would have turned left instead of going right, or if I would have taken this instead of doing this, or if I would have just stayed, like, I struggled for the longest time with the fact that, like, I went ahead and dropped out of school and did some different things, like I had trouble with all these different things. And even the way, like, I treated some of my family members, and things like that as when I was younger, I struggled with all that stuff. And I went spiraling, like, out of control, crazy, and it is hard to figure out some of those things. But a lot of it was, I'll be honest, like, I mean, if I wouldn't have started going to church, if somebody wouldn't have been, bold enough to invite me and continue to talk to me about, I don't know where I'd be today,
right.
If I'm being honest, that because I really didn't understand, forgiveness. I didn't understand grace. I didn't understand mercy. I didn't understand any of it. In my mind, I was like, dude, I'm too far gone,
right.
Or some of the things I've said to my mom has been so heinous that, like, who am I now? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
And that is where I was. And once I started figuring that out, like, man, there's grace exists. I can be forgiven. Redemption is real. Like, we can be redeemed. Those things really shifted my perspective in some pretty real ways. Now, I didn't figure it out. I still took a long time to figure it out. But I started taking steps, in some different directions. Kind of like similar, like the TB, even saying, hey, like, I'm still like, and maybe you have some of that figured out, but you probably are still like, I'm still working on some of it. Like, what are some of those next things for me? Man, I'm still doing that, but I was doing that big time then. So it's like, I don't know, but I know it needs to be something different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm proud of you for that, dude. That's awesome.
So I started doing like this, and it was like doing this, like talking to people.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like what you said. Like, our biggest problem with everything is like the shame part, and then isolation, and then once you actually start talking to people, it really does help your brain.
Yeah.
And it's also funny that you said like one of your biggest regrets was like finishing high school.
Yeah.
Not finishing high school, I'm sorry, because my biggest regret was like finishing high school. Because I did not want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it took like it literally took essentially like a basketball team, like a people, not an actual basketball team, like like 9 people, 8 or 9 people, like be like, you're going, and this is what's gonna happen, because you are going to do this.
Yeah.
Because you work with my mom and whatnot, but you have not seen my mom until you see her like on a computer, like trying to do, like, it was called Alex, ALEKS, and it was like just algebra, just math in general. You've not seen my mom really until you see her take an assessment and then actually get questions wrong on it, and then lose pieces of pie on it. Because once you lose the piece of pie, you have to retake it.
Oh, dude. So she loses a little there.
Oh.
This is good.
Also, anyone that watches this that was like new tech is going to hear that and they're like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's funny.
It was like a small team trying to get me to do it, and I didn't want to do it for myself and whatnot. And that's kind of funny because it's like, whenever you have people trying to do it for you, trying to do it for you, you don't really care. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, whenever you decide to do it, be like, I'm going to do this for myself. Suddenly it like, it's real. And you're like, it's like what you said. It's like, I'm not going to go left anymore. I'm going to go right. Because it's an active decision to be like, I'm going to do better. And whenever I would go through it and whatnot, because it took me running into walls and then being like, I'm done hitting that.
Yeah.
But,
well, and it's getting to that place, right? Like figuring that out. How do I do that? You know, and because I think a lot of times, and dude, as a parent, like I do this to my kids, and I try hard not to so much, but sometimes we want to so badly steer people in the direction that we think they need to go.
Yeah.
You know, like there's times like, I mean, I got a son who he has a lot of things going on. You know, I love him so much. I want him to do well, and I want him to be okay, right? So sometimes, you know, you try really hard to be like, hey, like, let's go this way. Let's do this. Let's do this. You got to do this, you know. And sometimes it really is, we just have to, you know, people do need to figure it out. Like, you know, when I went to school, you know, when I went to college, I started getting some things figured out and started doing counseling, get my degree in counseling and do some things like that. The most successful work is always done when really you work as a counselor in the passenger seat. Whoever you're working with is driving, you know, like, because ultimately, like, we have to figure it out, you know, like I have to figure out what I have to be willing, and I have to be like, no, this is where I want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's how do we support people in that? You know, it's, you let them do it, you help, and you care, and you love them well through it, and you try very hard to maybe even ask good questions, but ultimately, like, somebody has to be, you know, and so trying to figure that out with my own children, you know, because it's hard when you're like, it's right here, you know, but you know, it's, I don't know. So that's me opening up and being like, sometimes I wish I was better at this, you know, but still trying to figure it out, growing every day, you know.
What made you want to be a counselor?
You know, I think that, so I mentioned earlier about dropping out of school. I did drop out of high school. So,
So you dropped out of high school and then
I
college.
I did not go to college right away. I started welding, and I made a decision that I was going to go ahead and finish through I don't know, it was some sort of co-op thing that you could just get it done pretty easily because I was far enough along, honestly. Like I was just in a lot of trouble all the time. So I was like, I just need to get this. I just need to figure it out. Because at the time I was like, well, I mean, if I want to do anything else, I need to get a degree of some sort. So I ended up doing that. I didn't go to college right away. Even then, I went to college after a while, and I thought I was going to do instrumental performance. Ended up dropping out to play in band, and which was fine. Which honestly, I have no regrets about that. It was a lot of fun. And then I worked at I was telling you a little bit before about when I was 21 or 22 or something like that. I started going to church and met this youth pastor. It was really cool. We became really close, and he's a super good dude. They say Parkerson. I decided I was going to go to Bible college after that. So I went to Bible college first because I wanted to learn more, not because I thought I was going to do ministry, but the Bible college was Louisville Bible College, and it was so cheap that I could weld during the day and go to school at night, and I could just pay for it, like through what I was doing. So I was like, it wasn't the same as like going to U of L or something. So I did that and got a biblical studies degree. And after that, I was like, I still didn't know if that was even because at the time, like I do singing and stuff now, but I never even sang before. Wasn't even into it. Like I didn't think about it. Um, and so I started doing some of that because somebody asked me one time, so one of the worship leaders didn't show up. It's like, can you sing in this? I was like, no. Like, can you try? And it was like one of those like, it's not going to be great, but I will try. And I did it, and it ended up being better than I thought it would be. So that's how it started. And so I started doing that regularly for students after that. But then I started working at a boys' home. And after a while, this is fast forwarding some, but I started working at a boys' home where we would stay with them. And these are young men who they got in trouble with something legally. So some of that was drugs, some of it was violence, and it was kind of a sad situation because some of it was like they just had nowhere else to go. So you had a mixture of all of this, And so I worked in this home with them, and I would stay with them. And we would rotate, me and like 4 other guys. And so you would take them to school, you would help them with their homework, we would cook their dinners with them, we would make sure that they all did what they needed to do, and then that they went to bed at a certain time. Like that was what we would do, and just kind of cared for them. Like it was just it was a cool thing. Like I loved it. Honestly, it was like a great job. I loved it. And so, long story short, I got too many points on my license, and I had to quit because I couldn't drive them around anymore. So I got one speeding ticket. I couldn't do it. And so after that, I was like, man, I really want to do more with this. And so I started going to just back to school. And at the time, I was working in a place called Fuji Seal in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And it was I was working as like kind of a maintenance / pressman kind of job. And so I did that, and I started going to school for human services and counseling. And I was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do this, and maybe I could find a job, or maybe I could start some sort of nonprofit. Because at the time, I had given up on ever doing full time ministry, to be honest. Because it was just I had a tough go at it. Just never.
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, nothing ever landed. So I started doing that. And so after I got that, and I finished my degree in that, I was like, I'm going to go and pursue this master's degree in counseling. I'm going to get this, And so I started doing that because I was like, man, what I wanted to do is I wanted to sit with people and just kind of walk through some of that with them. And the more, and I didn't pursue the master's until after I got into full-time ministry. And so many of my conversations as a student pastor was with kids who, depression, anxiety, abandonment, all these things that they had, and all this stuff was real stuff. Like, man, it was tough. Like, and I was like, man, I need to be more equipped for this. You know what I mean? Like, because they were talking to me about some heavy stuff, and a lot of it was just listening, and but ultimately I was like, man, I need to I need to learn more about it, you know? And so I started thinking about it. I was like, man, you know, this would be a cool way. I'm going to just go back to school. Maybe I can do something like this and help students. You know, it was my main drive in it, honestly. And then, so I did that and was in full-time ministry, started working at the Ridge. And the interesting thing is when I went to the Ridge, I was finishing it. But they weren't hiring me to do that. That wasn't like you know what I mean? They were like, we want to bring you in to do worship ministry, you know? And so, but the cool thing is like, there was already some things working, you know, God was already moving in this, but, and I believe that 100% because they were, you know, I don't even know if they were aware of it yet, but they were getting ready to start shifting into Ridge Counseling Services.
Right.
You know? And so once Ridge Counseling Services started to move, it made sense for me to help with some of that. And so to this day, you know, I'm not necessarily pastoral oversight anymore because Kim's doing that. She does a great job at that too. She's amazing. But I'm now one of the male counselors for it, you know. So it's just like, I mean, it's just kind of interesting because, you know, when I went to school, I went to school for some very different reasons for it. That's one to help students, but now I'm probably speak more to adults, you know, but which isn't a bad thing. I still love that too. I just like, I mean, you know, working through things with people, you know, and sometimes we do that. We get into a lot of people who get into counseling get into it because they're trying to learn about themselves. And maybe even subconsciously that was part of my thing too. But because I did learn a lot about me, you know, even in doing that. But I also learned I have a passion for working with people, talking with people, wanting to, you know, just, I don't know, help be a part of something with them, you know.
Right.
You know, because we're not talking at you, you know, I'm listening and I'm wanting to help walk through it with people. And we see that all the time. And I think that's an amazing thing. Because a lot of times it's like what you were saying earlier, you know, a lot of times people are coming in, they're like, I don't know, I'm looking back at this thing that I'm dwelling on that was a decade ago, you know?
Yeah.
And that is where they're stuck and they're having a really hard time working through that. And to see them go from there to go, no, like I'm more than this. I'm more than who, you know, I know I have value. I know I'm loved. I know I have purpose in life. Man, that's pretty amazing, right? Like to even get to witness that, you know, like play a little tiny small role in that is pretty cool. So yeah, I love it, man. You know, and that's a cool thing. Like, I mean, it's my job. My job can be hard sometimes, but honestly, I do love what I do. You get to do a lot of things. You get to play music all the time, which is great. I get to talk and hang out with people all the time, which is also great. So,
right,
pretty good. We all got stuff sometimes, but pretty good.
Yeah. What did you think that you would wind up in Columbus?
Oh no, man! I did not think that at all. No, not at all. You know, would I get further into Indiana? No, I never thought that at all. I sound like a hater right now, and I'm not at all. I actually really do like it here. But it was at the time, like I was very settled. And like, you're not going to find, like, I say this as somebody who moved away from it. Because you're not going to find many people that love Louisville more than me. Like, right. I love that place, dude. I still go there all the time. I love it there. For me to leave and come here I had to have, you know, it had to come from God for me to do it. Like, I had to feel that move to do that, you know? And so that was the only reason I did it. You know, I've shared this story several times, but you know, when I first started interviewing, I wasn't applying at a bunch of places. I applied here because somebody showed it to me. Like, you should think about this, you know, kind of thing. And so I was just like, whatever, dude. You know, sent the resume in, not expecting anything. And as I started talking with it, the more I got into the process, I still wasn't 100% sure. I had some talks with, I know Adam's going to be on here sometime in the near future, but me and Adam started talking a little bit more and more. And, you know, we had some cool conversations, and some of them were tougher conversations, but they were healthy and good. And I started going, man, maybe I'm feeling pulled here. But I told my wife multiple times, it's like, I got to know before we ever talk about anything. Like, I don't want an offer. I don't want anything before I have felt like this is what we need to do. And so, like, 2 days before I came up and met with Adam, and are you meeting with Tim too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Adam and Tim. So I met with those two guys. And And the 2 days before that, I felt like I had the answer. Like, okay, this is where we're going. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do this. And so, which I thought, like, that's what I needed, though. And I think I think God knew that's what I needed to leave where I was. Because honestly, dude, I was rooted. You know, my friends are there. I have tons of friends there. You know, like, I still play in some bands there sometimes. Like, there's things like that. Like, you know, my wife's family is there. Like, you know, my mom and everybody's there. You know, so it's like it took a lot for us to, and that's not like super far away, but it's not like we could hang out on a Wednesday night every week anymore, kind of thing. So it took a lot to do that, but you know, here we are. You know, so I've definitely felt like I never thought I'd be here, and it's less to do with Columbus and more to do with the fact that like I just left where I was. But you know, we're growing and our roots here too. So yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Does your wife like it here?
She's definitely getting where she is. My wife is now she was born and raised there, and she was born and raised in New Albany, never left. So this is the first time she's ever lived anywhere different. You know, for me, it's like this, you know, but for her it was. And so she was excited about a change. She was like, I'm just ready for something new. And so it was kind of cool. And so she really, actually, I think she adapted quicker than I did. You know, like, to be honest, like, because I was more of like, gosh, man, like, I still miss some of this, or I miss my friends, and, you know, like, I miss hanging out with my bros on, like, a, you know, random Wednesday night. Like, sometimes I'd have friends, we'd go and just do random stuff on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like, I was missing some of that. But she adapted a little quicker than I did. But once our kids started becoming okay, like, it was just, like, really easy to be okay. You know?
Right.
And we're starting to get some good relationships here. You know, there's some cool people here too. So, yeah.
What is you talked about you felt like you were being pulled here by God. What did that feel like?
Yeah. So I think that, you know, a lot of times people talk about this idea of calling, you know, like I felt called to go do this or whatever. I believe that happens. For me, it was just this undeniable, like, this is where I was going. Like, I just felt that peace about it, you know? Because like I told you, like for me, like I was like, I will never leave this area. Like I was like, Louisville, I will die here. You know, like honestly. And I may, you know, you never know. But that is like, that was it. I was like, I will never leave here. Like this is my spot. Like I'm comfortable here. I love it here. Like it was my area. And we lived in New Albany before we moved here, but we lived in Louisville for a long time. New Albany's like basically a suburb of Louisville. But I was like, this is it. This is where I'm at. This is my spot. And whenever I felt peace about leaving a place I loved, and I just felt this like sense of just such a calm about it. Because, you know, leaving a job in general and going and doing something else, especially something where you're like, hey, I'm going to go and be a lead. I'm leading something here, you know? It's a very nerve-wracking thing a little bit. I just felt this like just complete comfort about it. I'm like, it's going to be fine. You know, was it hard? Yes. Like, and when we got here, have there been things that were hard? Yes. But I've trusted the entire way through that, like, things were okay. And I've had times where I've been like, dude, you know, like, are you sure? But I have felt peace and calm about it the entire way, you know, and, but yeah, and I've been sad and I've had things like that too. You know, I'd be lying to you if I said that none of that existed. I've felt all of that.
Right.
But through it all, though, still, there was a peace and a calm about it that I was like, no, this was the right thing, you know? And I've felt that all the way through because there's been things that have happened even at the Ridge, like, you know, relationships that we've gained that we wouldn't have had, or like, you know, seeing the way that, you know, things have moved in the ministries there. Like, I'm like, no, this was definitely 100% the right thing. You know, like God really did want us here at this time. You know, I feel that. So, yeah. And I think that's it. Like, it's like nothing else made sense to do. You know what I mean? Like nothing else made sense to do. And I feel like I've felt like when I've gone and made big life moves before, that's how I have always felt like, okay, I feel this leaning to go here. Nothing else made sense. Like even staying in a place I love did not make sense to do. You know what I mean? Which is weird.
Right.
Like it was weird. Like, but I'm like, I guess I'm moving to Columbus. You know? And I'm like, I guess they're known for architecture. That's all I knew. Like, you know, architecture. And
I know you're moving to the other Columbus. You're not even moving to Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I would never live in Ohio. No, I say that.
You would.
I would never.
What's wrong with Ohio?
I just can't, dude. I don't know what it is, bro. I've never had fun in Ohio.
Wow.
Cincinnati, I've seen a couple of cool shows. All right, I'll take it back. Cincinnati, you're all right. The rest of Ohio, whatever.
Me and my buddy, we went to Ohio and we did the 10 Years Messenger Tour.
Yeah.
By August Burns Red. And,
yeah.
We parked at a CVS. You're not supposed to do that apparently, because we got towed.
Ouch. That's tough.
It was Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh man, no.
Well then, it was Valentine's Day. We got towed, and my buddy was like, "I guess we got to figure this out."
Yeah. I
had like no money. I didn't have a debit card or anything. I didn't have a job.
That's tough, bro.
And so then, I had a job that paid like $9.50 under the table. It was like I had no money.
So you're broke, car's towed, and you're in a town that you don't live in.
And a different state.
Yeah.
And so then we had to take a taxi to go to the truck. And this taxi driver the entire way there is like grilling us. He's like, "Hey man, you got any flowers?" I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, do you know where I can get some flowers?" And my buddy's like, "Yeah, it's Valentine's Day. You can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna at that gas station when he's fast." He goes, No, they don't want what I got. What I want." I'm like, "What do you want? Roses? Like daffodils? Sunflowers? What are you wanting?" And he's like, "Oh, something." And so then later we discovered he's talking about heroin. And so,
yeah.
So then we got to this truck. The tow truck guy, it's like in the middle of like the hood. The tow truck guy's like talking to us, and this guy came up to him. He started like yelling at him, pulled a gun on him, and we're just like,
run.
Well, the entire time, my buddy's wallet is in the truck, so the taxi driver is just sitting there going like, "Does he have any flowers?" I'm like, "No, just shut up."
Yeah, dude, that's wild.
We're probably getting shot.
Yeah, that's wild. What an experience.
I know, and me and my buddy, we haven't really been back.
Yeah. Ohio.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't go.
That's right.
Stay out of Ohio, man.
That's right.
That's right, dude. Yeah.
But so I know the Ridge is doing services on Thursdays now.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys excited for that?
I am. I think it's gonna be great. I'm excited to see who comes. I think it's gonna be an opportunity for people who aren't able to make Sunday to have a chance to come.
Right.
Which I think is great. And community happens in all these services. Like no matter what service you come to, they have different vibes, right? Like because you have the same people are coming, but it's growing. But Thursdays people be more awake.
Yeah.
Like honestly, right? Like so I think there's going to be some of that. I think it's just going to be a really cool opportunity to reach people, which I'm excited for. So I think it's going to be great.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's Thursdays. What time?
That's going to be at 7:00.
7:00
till 8. So
7 days.
Yeah, we're real good on time too. You know that, bro. We're about an hour and it's over. So it's going to be cool, man. I'm excited for it. 100%.
Right. And then Sundays it's.
Yeah. So Sundays we have one at 9.
And then 10, and then an hour.
Yeah, 9:30. Sorry, wait. No, 9. Guys, I'm just there. Okay, I don't know. I was kidding. 9. Yes. Man, yeah. No 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it
Dude,
9?
It's definitely 9:30.
I was gonna say, is it? I'm late most of the time.
Dude, my wife's like that too. Dude, I'm gonna have to look and see. Oh, I got no service in here.
I think it's 9:30.
Yeah, 9:30, 9:30 and 11. That's it. That feels right. 9:30 and 11. Now I'm saying them together. It's 9:30 and 11 on Sunday. Yeah. So I appreciate you having me, man.
It's no problem, dude. Thank you so much. You got anything you want to plug real quick?
Dude, I don't have much going on. But, if you want to go watch me talk more about nerdy stuff, you can always go to our YouTube channel, Nerdy Reid's Podcast. Go see us. And come hang out with us at the Ridge. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
You come. So, hey,
yeah.
He hangs out with us.
Yeah.
We jam.
Yeah.
And this is probably not going to come out before the night of worship, but
when's that?
That's in like a week, so.
Oh no.
Well, we'll have another one, at some point. Those are fun too. So appreciate you, dude.
All right.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, dude.